some spicy. We'll bless you down here, you know? Also on Twitter, we had a poll at Valorant Esports asking everyone who they thought was going to win the grand finals, and you voted that Sentinels will be our champions by 71%. But it's time for our analysts to sit on that hot seat now. Let's go down the line, start with predictions. Potter, who you got for our grand finals?
Oh, this is a tough one for me. You know, I think FNATIC, they've been heating up as the tournament goes on, and each series that they've shown up, they've looked better and better. But I still got to stick with Sentinels. I think their information game, it is just too strong. They're always able to just push their opponents off those choke points, keep their opponents guessing, and at that point, they've got free reign. They can do whatever they want. I got to stick with Sentinels here, Golden Boy.
All right, Van Silly, what about for you, brother?
Oh, man, I'm probably going to have to go with Sentinels no matter what here at this point. Although I don't think that we're going to see a sweep from Sentinels in this series. There's still potential, especially on Bind, that FNATIC could take one map away of the series to end it 3-1. I just find that overall, it's going to be the first challenge, the real challenge at least for Sentinels, to see what FNATIC is capable of. But it's still going to be NA to reign supreme.
All right, Mitch, the fans have spoken. Your colleagues have spoken. Where are you going, man? What's your prediction?
I'm going to surprise everybody here and pick FNATIC, of course.
No.
The reason for it, though, isn't just my EU bias, right? I think this team adapts better than any other team out there, certainly in the EMEA region. And when I look at the series last time, it was super close. Icebox didn't have Durka showing up. I can definitely see a world in which they take that, they take Bind, and hey, only one out of the other three needs to go their way. So I'm feeling FNATIC.
Hey, man, you know, I respect the decision there. It's going to be an incredible matchup. And without further ado, it is all led to this. The grand finals of Masters Reykjavík starts right now.
मला पण
ए अरे काय खेळताय ती लोक
रिलॅक्स
will end with EU versus NA, a rematch of the initial upper bracket match.
We feel really confident because we've been 2-0ing every single team so far, and going on to the grand finals, we're confident we can 3-0 them. It's feeling good.
I'm gagging for it, man. I want to take them down, bro. They've taken us down 2-0, but I'm coming back. I really want that win. I want that dub badly. Sentinels are getting scarier every time they play on lane.
We're not going to be happy till we win the whole thing. The finals is going to be the hardest match.
This win will mean everything for not only me, but the boys, the team, the staff. It's electric. Our energy on the stage is definitely something else. We play for each other, we win for each other.
I feel like we just have 5 very well-rounded players.
It's such a complete team that honestly just shows no weakness.
It means a lot for me and my team that EU is better than NA, and we are here to prove that. People are talking about all these other regions, but Zom's Nation has taken it all.
Sentinels, we took down your little brother, and now we're coming for you.
Good luck, you're gonna need it.
झाली का चालू? मॅच झाली का चालू? जस्ट होती आता वॉकआउट झालं. ओके.
Welcome,
Shazam
ladies
काय
and
लिक्विडचा हे
gentlemen,
घालून आलाय
to
का?
Reykjavík, the grand finals between, of course, the European Titans, FNATIC versus North America's best, Sentinels. This is history in the making, the first global LAN event ever in Valorant history. Riv, I am beyond excited for this one. How are you feeling?
Dan, I've got chills up and
3-1.
down. Everything we're witnessing now is so much work put into over a year now. These
BO5
teams
च
going
ना?
through
का BO3
trials
है?
and tribulations
माहिती आहे.
to get here with roster swaps, everything outside the game and inside the game that has affected them. Still, they're gunning to be champions here today at the Valorant Masters tournament here in Reykjavík for the championship, the grand finals. Dan, we're here finally. We have the map veto selection, or sorry, just the map selection is all 5 maps will be played. And this map selection makes me so happy as it comes through
split.
because it looks like we will be getting maps that give us what I think the best chance at getting to a game 5. Everyone's strength going back and forth, punch for punch in the picks, and it could absolutely be a very good series all the way to a game 5.
Totally agree with you. So with you on all of that. I think that the stylistic matchup of these two teams is incredibly interesting because it's the test of a team in FNATIC that does immense preparation, immense focus on the tactical and strategical elements.
Probably bind
But,
Harel,
looking across the
Sentinels.
way, you have Sentinels who they themselves understand how this game is played, that it is a game that can be won through preparation, but the focus of their team is on the individual talent and skill, and having a system that is loose and provides for each of those players in that system. So you have two ultimately different systems, but the way that these teams clash and is actually pretty even when you consider all of those factors. So I agree. This matchup has the making to really deliver. If we look on the previous matchup, which we had the pleasure to cast, Riv, that game actually could have gone FNATIC's way.
And then one thing you have to point out about those matches, Dan, we talked about it, the pistol rounds at the beginning of each map for Icebox and Haven went 1-1.
But I guess
did not go 2-0 for either team. The bonuses weren't there to be used. And those maps ended up 13-11 and 13-10. So if a team here can solidify those pistol rounds, it may tell a different story. Looking at FNATIC for pistol rounds there, they seem to drop them. Durka goes for the Marshall. They can still make magic happen. But from the pistol rounds, if FNATIC grabs those, I think we could see a much different game from them. Boaster says the momentum-based, it's going to have to start at the beginning, you know?
Yeah, completely agree with that one too. You know, it is going to be, I think, a difficulty playing against Sentinels just because Sentinels do have that upper bracket run advantage in terms of seeing more rounds of their opponent. Yeah. This is something that Sean Gez pointed out on Twitter just a moment ago. And with that said, you know, I'll pause that point because we are going into the Prime Gaming Agent Select for map 1. So out of the gate here, Riv, is there anything that strikes you?
Yes! Tens is bringing out the raise on Split. Oh my word, the last 8 runs for Sentinels had that being the Jet. They were duelist, double duelist on this. Now they're going to switch it up against FNATIC. As FNATIC goes in, they are not running the triple duelist comp. They actually go for a single duelist. So this is a complete switch up. Coming in, the plays through challengers 2-1 here were, I think, 10 for Sentinels with a very high win rate. And I think 3 for FNATIC, so you can see why Sentinels want to target Split. Yes, there was the boot camp by FNATIC, but Sentinels and everybody hasn't been able to see what that boot camp was able to do. They feel like they can get the aggression and the advantage on Split to start, with this being their pick.
And here we are, ladies and gents. Sentinels versus FNATIC here. Map 1 of the best of 5 grand finals here at Masters 2 Reykjavík. And it is starting. Sentinels. What have they got to show us here? They're going to be on the attack. But FNATIC, you may think that they're actually on the attack here because they're making a quick move, taking that A main control right as Sentinels work their way through mid.
Spikes down here, so it's going to be a touch and go play. Picked up on the other side by Dapper.
Oh my god.
Beautiful tripwire by Magnum to start it off. And it looks like the defense pays off, but Ten's answers back quick.
Yeah, the trace coming through here as site control is being vied for, and Boaster is in a lot of trouble. Will get taken down by Sick, and Sentinels have pulled away with this control now. The wall going up onto the spawn will deny any entry for FNATIC, so we'll get Doma and Durka making their way across to the heaven. There's no real opportunity to go anywhere else at this point. They're just going to send it with the dash. Durka with a nice opening, but needs 2 more to go. It's going to be difficult to find those. It's now just Doma with the Ghost. Sentinels will be toying with Durka, and in fact, they're just going to finish things off.
Double peek there, real quick to get the finishing kill. Sentinels doing a quick topside strap up to the B Heaven area, straight through the gut, up mid, and then it was a late garage hit. It kind of it looked like they were FNATIC to think nothing else was happening there, and then you saw everybody in the garage spike. So a bit of a read, delay, and then hit. Looks like they were the whole time. And FNATIC almost coming up really nice there on the retake as they dove back into the site. We'll see if they can grab it again. Durka is not going for the Marshall, but then again, Dan, you mess up your economy on Split, and it starts to go very bad.
Yeah, once again, we're getting this focus from FNATIC on the A main, and this is something I think we can think about going into their defense, that they pressure this so much. Sentinels seem naturally also to just hold towards mid and B main for their defaults, even though they're playing an anti-eco right now. I think it will be something to focus on. FNATIC, you know, they will be picked off one by one here. They are just on pistols, and they did manage to gain the orb on A main, so that's a small victory. Frag would be nice too.
Yeah, making this round a little bit safer for themselves as Dapper is able to see the rotation coming from 1-1. They can assume that's where B Heaven is going to get the action, as Durka's just waiting for some frags to come through. They would love to be able to knock some armor off.
And it's like
those guns
Tens are what dangerous man. तुम्ही खूप पॅक्स पेन झाला का देखो. त्याचा कॉन्फिडन्स हाय झाला तर उपयोगच नाही ना. तुम्ही सगळे मरालच.
We'll see what FNATIC can do to pick up these weapons if they continue to play aggressive and look for that info, or if they go for a info denial game here to start reading what Sentinels wants to do. That's where I think Boaster becomes the most effective, is when it slows down a little bit and they can start making those mid-round adaptations. I think that's why we see FNATIC so good on attack on most maps. Adaptations. When you're on defense, you're made to react to whatever your attackers are doing. You don't really have a chance to adapt. You're just doing. So here,
Yeah, and you can see off the bat, FNATIC wanted to take control of the lane. They got denied by Sentinels out. He took beautiful swing from Doma, takes down Sick. And it's a huge win early for FNATIC as they now have that B main control. They'll give it up straight away, but that's largely because they have a 5v4 advantage.
Is a big part of taking B for Sentinels or any team, honestly, to have your Sage there to put up the wall and make sure you can slow everybody coming in. And we'll see what Sentinels can do now. FNATIC doing a great job of just holding, not giving any trailblazer out towards mid, and they hold it off. I love of all the Astra utility coming in from the side. But then if they do lose ground of anything, right on the zip line coming through vents, they can quickly either concuss that or smoke it out and give a pause to Sentinel's strategy. Here we go.
Smoke through gets better.
Shazam able to take down Mystic. Magnum below might be able to get a few here. Good position. 10 causing problems. And that, well, Magnum still gets 2 out of that, so still a good advantage here for FNATIC in the 3v2. Time is really on Sentinels now. They've got to plant the spike. You can see Shazam's going to give up that spike there, leaving it up to Dapper. 2 more to find, though, and 10 seconds to get the spike. He doesn't have time to really mess around here. Has to push the issue quite quickly. He's going to just drop or swap out so he gets more ammo, but he's not in a winnable position here. FNATIC very well. And there we go. FNATIC pick up their first round.
That's huge for FNATIC because they are, as they said themselves, a momentum-based team, so be able to start swinging early is going to help them out a lot here. So I think this also gives a little bit of agency to what Dirk is start building money, play a little bit more just around the map as his style loves it. And start picking up first bloods. FNATIC knows he can be grabbing sometimes. Getting the first deaths in there, we saw it being a problem for the first Sentinels versus FNATIC matchup, but Dirk is still an opening for the team to continue to work these rounds. It'd be good to have we saw it being a problem for the first.
Sentinels, though, you know, they are defaulting here, so this is just extreme amounts of pressure on the defense. You can see on the minimap the rotation that's come through here for FNATIC. We have to respect this, and because of that, Shazam's able to get a backstab through ropes. And Tens is going to try to capitalize here, pulls out the showstopper, looking for those defenders. Oh, he's actually missed both right below him, and that might give an opportunity here for FNATIC to hold on to this A site. They still have Mystic in position on elbow.
Sentinels getting a little too crazy there, just reacting off of thinking they had FNATIC dead to rights. FNATIC never dead to rights. You have to realize that. They're here for a reason, and they're ready to play, trying to pull this one back into their favor now. Magnum with the Spectre versus 2.
Such great movement there from both Sentinels players. That really does put Mystic in a difficult position.
30 seconds left.
FNATIC, or rather, sorry, Sentinels will make that movement towards that B site. And there's not a lot of great options here for Mystic. In fact, I don't think there's any options you could describe as great for Mystic at the moment. And Sentinels are just going to double up at the back of the site, creating a double elevation on the peak. So this double peak should be somewhat impossible for Mystic to deal with. Oh.
Hot foot for Zoms, just a tiny bit. He felt it for a second. This is going to be tough. Mystic's going to have a hell of a transfer here. If he does hit it, he might have the angle on one. And Sick needed to come up big there. They were ready. They were waiting. And it's going to be 3-1 now for Sentinels. Bit of a scrappy round there as they kind of let loose. And FNATIC noticed that. Instantly backed themselves out, knowing what would be next was that Raze ultimate. So really heady play by Boaster to just instantly make distance after. They were like, whoa, wait, this is all a little too crazy.
And it's Valorant's such a fast game as well that we haven't really had an opportunity to talk about the reason why Tens picking Raze is such an awesome pick for a map like Split. And there won't be any time right now either because we have the initial setup here on game from both teams. And that Ice Orb, it's so high value in the sense of that 100 credits just allows you to just prevent the other team from making any aggressive moves. So you just win that control straight away.
Crossfire onto B garage. Spike still playing slow for Sentinels here. The chess game still begins. before that execution between Boaster and Shazam here. The minds bringing these two teams to grand finals along with the star power that is the rest of both of these rosters. So Bladestorm is up. We have Rez there for Sick and 3 ultimates on the side of Fanatics for a little bit of defense here to force them out. If Sick decides to fire one off, or they're just going to see if the round becomes worth enough to ultimates.
Oh, on the bait there. There you go into the firing squad.
किती smoke through मारतात.
That's pretty awesome. FNATIC just massively baited there for the Prime Gaming Flawless for Sentinels.
I think that was the round of the entire tournament with the least vision kills. There's just a whole lot of spamming through that smoke there. It works though. Kind of one of those rounds where you play against the opponent just face first. Honestly, if one person was in mid there, they take it down, they get a Phantom, and they run with it. But it was a family photo from Sentinels. They even know, like, I spammed 3. I used up all my luck, Dan.
We just spam through.
Something
like that.
Come on, boys, let's go. Sent forward. There's lots of players here. Nice shot. There it is. What a response.
Oh my god.
10 HP.
What?
The regrowth will heal them up, though. And that's going to burn the res. Good to get that res out of the picture early on. And Durka repositioning to the upper areas here of the B site on those rafters. And Sentinels with that mid control, they can go anywhere. And
already invented.
make noise towards ropes, but will they commit there?
That would be a dirty Viper bite. Mystic holding it ever so slowly. You can see the cam being held by Magnum on the other side, so they don't have to do too much movement on A just yet. Shazam is waiting to hit A. I think they still toy with B and then jump right back through the vents again.
Yeah, the wall goes up. They go back towards the A heaven position. 40 seconds to go. We'll get that divide there. That's definitely going to certainly convince FNATIC what's going on. Magnum in this upper position is absolutely key. Trying to find a way to push timing here.
Do they go back?
It's a possibility, but there is a lurk through mid as well. If they are to go back, they may walk straight into Boaster.
They have to go in now. They have
and
to
there
go
goes the swing from Magnum. Doma's here as well. On A heaven, trying to hold this position. The trades come through. General Theft gets to find out all of the remaining positions of FNATIC, and the spike is planted. So that really does put Sentinels in a really good position here. They know exactly where all of these defenders are coming from on this retake.
The op makes it a little bit harder here. Okay, goes for the Phantom, actually picks that up. Now they're 3 strong with rifles to come back through. Bladestorm's there. Viper's Pit is not something they could really put to use. Remember, this was one of those rounds that we have guns being picked up here.
Nice.
To be able to make use of it.
Yeah, it's down to Mystic. Oh my goodness, Mystic's doing it wrong, but Shazam's got the position for the punish. There's no time. That's a good effort though. Definitely got an extra kill or 2 than I didn't expect, but still, you know, it's 5-1 for Sentinels. They're still storming ahead at this point.
FNATIC did everything right, everything, but still
also
lost.
Another big round that the operator was there for the side of FNATIC. That goes down. That was saved up. Like I said, we usually do Dirk on the Marshall. He didn't go for that. FNATIC wanted the operator. Got a great kill with it. And then Sentinels knew, all right, we can play with the Cosmic The ults are mounting. Durka as well. He is just starting to come up with big plays as he comes online.
Yeah, that's a fantastic start. You've got that Bladestorm. Magnum is a Spectre. There's a couple of Sheriffs in the mix. This is very dangerous now for Sentinels. So they would really want to start to think about how to regroup here. But we have a lead info play from FNATIC. So FNATIC are putting the pieces together as to where Sentinels surely should be. They may not expect that Sentinels are still playing very, very passively, though. Moving back towards B. Oh, Magnum's going to know exactly what's coming right now. Oh, yes. Boaster with the Sheriff, finds the spike, and now it's just 2 players remaining here for Sentinels. They are in so much trouble. And with Doma here around the corner with the Sheriff, the chance. But still, Sentinels alive in this round.
I just love seeing the good play.
Really
Anybody can win this. The shots people are hitting, the solo one and done, almost getting two. Zombs picks one's up there, but it's Magnum again, having a week for himself. Many have said it. They usually do not see this type of pressure, this type of potential out of Magnum, and he is firing on all cylinders for FNATIC. Come Masters now in the grand finals, it does not stop for him. Picks up that round for the team with a 3K, and feels good.
Yeah, such an important round to pick up. Really does change things in terms of momentum, and you can see Durka knows exactly what he has to do. That Blade Storm is like having almost a hero rifle on a round such as this. And you've got to get that kill early, you've got to take the risk to do it, and that's another reason why Jet's so good as an agent. You have that dash, take extremely extended pushes, and with a weapon like that, like the Blade Storm, Durka is showing the value that he has on the team. Now as we move forward, there's a real chance that FNATIC to storm back into this one.
I love that nothing really stops Durka. You know what I mean? He'll have a round where he kind of gets hit up, and he may have pressed a little too hard. You think, oh, he'll play timid next round. Nah, Blade Storm, straight up through the gut, goes down mid, takes one down, and gets himself back to safety. Nothing makes it timid, and that's exactly what you need out of the list, and that's why Durka saw a lot of time on the side of FNATIC.
हे लाइटिंग नाही का इंटरॅक्टिव्ह पाहिजे रे म्हणजे नाही कसं मॅच एंड व्हायला मॅच काय सॉरी राउंड एंड व्हायला आला ना मग फुल लाल होणार एव्हरी राउंड
डिस्ट्रॅक्टिंग वगैरे होईल म्हणून केलेलं
हा एक्झॅक्टली हे लोक ते क्राउड मध्ये करू शकतात नाही का जेव्हा क्राउड असेल ना
they're using teammates. It would have been sick that was first up in the heaven.
नशे करून आलेला लेले त्याच्या डोळे डॅपरचे डोळे पाहिलेत का दर
something. The rest of Sentinels popped out of the woodwork, and that's when we saw them.
Oh, अरे कसली खास आहे ही.
So they're using
एक नंबर आहे.
हे तर स्प्लिटची बिल्डिंग आहे का बाय एनी चान्स? त्याच्यासारखीच वाटते ट्रॉफी स्प्लिटवरची बिल्डिंग
कसं वाटतं
spamming 3 down. They're really being able to prevent that.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying playing out so far. I think Sentinels are leading with that confidence, and FNATIC again. I'm not sure if this was mentioned because we've talked so much about this grand finals now on and off camera. I'm not sure if we mentioned this off camera, but just see the individuals of FNATIC in this match be so extremely
like 40 वर्षाचा वगैरे वाटतं
and Durka is the chief of those
हेडलाइन इतकी मागे गेली आहे फिरकत असं एकदम नाही का लेफ्ट साइडला लहानपणी असताना आई कशी करते असं फुल नाही का तसं
is that this is the grand finals stage. This is to make history. Valorant is a game that is going to certainly have success and grow over the years, and this is a magical point of its time where we're at the first international event ever. So your performance here will be remembered for the end of Valorant history until the end of time. This is going to be etched into the tablets of Valorant history. So there's a lot of pressure on these players to perform for their regions, for themselves, for their teams, for their fans. And so, I'm just making this point because FNATIC is a team that have to step up individually, and that kind of pressure makes it harder for individuals to perform. And in some cases, it makes it easier for the truly gifted competitors.
I mean, all of them want to be here, but I think we heard Boaster say it at one point, and Sentinels players have said it previously before at one point, that there's nerves no matter what coming in here. It's how fast you can shake those off. As we're in this tech pause, let's look at what split means to both teams here. Just to kind of set the pace, set the story, because yes, Sentinels are ahead. Sentinels have a pretty decent attack rate, 57% attack win rate here. Their defensive side is also quite strong, but attack is where FNATIC loves to get their percentage in winning, get their advantage. So seeing them kind of falter a little bit on defense to Sentinels makes a bit of sense here. But once FNATIC gets onto attack, then we're definitely going. Obviously, they have to get the rounds back. I think though we're going to see that aggression that FNATIC were used to. Where they quickly flip the
पण
switch.
तुझा असा मध्येच कट होतो आता मगाशी एकदम असा मॉड्युलेट होऊन केला तुझा आवाज.
Durka tags, they get info,
पूर्णच गेला
and
का?
then they'll finally hit something.
आणि
It's so
गेला.
good when an ult
रौनक
comes
गेला.
up, something else happens, and calling an audible to just quickly hit a strat. VOD review them, but the in the moment decisions FNATIC makes on attack are one of the reasons they're
And one thing that Sentinels I think have been doing really well to sort of counter these kinds of things over the course of this tournament is they as Shazam does so much study, it allows them to play more passively because they are able to get more from the small amounts of info that they do get when they're playing passively. Because if you're passive, you're not out there pushing the extreme teams, pushing for information as much. And so, you're without that info, so it means that you need to really know
म्हणजे ते केवढं सगळं असा नीट एम वगैरे सगळं नीट चालू असतं आणि मध्येच एकदम ब्रेक असतं.
passively, and that's something that Sentinels are doing.
Full rhythm चालू नाही का अशी सगळ्यांची.
And that does definitely come from their ability to have more prep against their opponents, as well as just having the right kind of minds on the team to do that.
चॅट मध्ये काय बोलू?
I think one thing that I'm going to be really curious about as we
Indian सर्वात जास्त
so far FNATIC haven't really been able to do much with the early control that they get. They're trying to get early control of B main and A main. And A main seems pretty easy for FNATIC to get because Sentinels are not really defaulting out there at this point in time. But at the same time, Sentinels are playing so slow that FNATIC can't really rotate off of the info they get really early on.
Perfect.
So it kind of discourages FNATIC from doing it because what they're doing is now spending utility and taking risks to get information that's not really valuable. And so that's a bad.
आणि पहिल्या मॅच मध्ये जर का त्यांनी जरा असा हे दाखवलं ना फुल डॉमिनन्स तर मग बाइंड पण सोपं जाईल. लाईक बाइंड वर FNATIC खूप भारी आहे खरं.
Free reign when they start
बोस्टर लईच खास आहे रे. त्याची पर्सनॅलिटी लईच भारी आहे.
हिटमॅन आहे तो टीमचा.
Dynamic.
फुल ते ऍक्शन विक्शन करतोय प्रॉपर.
I love you bringing up the slow play
त्याला
because
तेच रे
it does
मेंटॅलिटी
seem
तीच असते.
like
किती पण
काय म्हणतात कुठली V1 ला हरवलं ते सेलिब्रेशन बघितलं
honestly is one of my favorite things when you're denying
सेंटिनल्स की काहीतरी करायला पाहिजे रे.
and they're not moving. A lot of them are sitting inside the vent area.
अरे सगळे VM करतात रे इन गेम ना ऍक्च्युअली
You feel uncomfortable.
सोडून बाकी सगळे
You
करतात.
take and you're like, is this space giving me correct information now? And it
विचार
almost
कर ना
nullifies the
परत
fact
जर
that
सिलेंडर
you've
आला
taken that
आणि
space unless
हरायला
the
वगैरे
war is
लागले
taken and figured out and the entire situation is triaged to figure out what is actually going
But
on.
I don't think सिलेंडर
So,
परत
yeah, the
येईल.
slow play, I
तो
think,
पण
is
तो
really
असा घाण
effective
player
at
नाही आहे पण.
forward space.
तो घाण नाहीच आहे but तो टेन्स तर नाही आहे ना.
And FNATIC is kind of reconsidering if that space has been good to take or not.
But they
from Sentinels
C9 वर पण आहे ना ते काय करतात ते
and they have quite a good score.
पण तरी असं
कोण बोलत होता श्राउडचीच बहुतेक एक क्लिप पाहिलेली आहे मध्ये की त्याला सोडलं तरी तो बोलत होता की C9चा त्याचा असा एक्सपिरियन्स आहे की ते सोडतील त्याला पण त्याला असा फेअर प्राइस वर नाही हे करणार. काहीच्या काही जास्ती हे करून प्रॉफिट हे करतात आणि मगच सोडायचं आहे.
कोणी पण करेल रे. इतका स्टार प्लेअर असतात तुझ्याकडे तर तू पण करणार ना. सो C9 ला असं फॉल्ट हे करण्यात काही पॉइंट नाही. I think C9 should sell him. But
looking back
कोण
at
घेणार हा पण
challengers,
प्रश्न आहे.
when they
कोणी
played
प्राइस
the
टॅग
finals, I was
ठेवून
like,
नका
this
कोणीच
is
घेणार
wild.
नाही.
Triple duelist at like
1 million जर ठेवलं ना
they
त्यांनी
played that
I think
before against
Sentinels
Liquid
will
and won. So wasn't that
नाही
wild?
एवढं
So
खाली
you're
नाही
like,
ठेवणार
all
त्याला.
right,
लाईक निकोला बाय केलं होतं ते काहीतरी 2.1 काय 2.4 ला केलेलं
here
होतं.
back to a lot of utility that teams have been focusing. You get the chance for resets with things like Sage or with Sky, and you can really play to a different type of game. That is a bit slower. So here we'll see if it works for them. They do get that split game first chosen by Sentinels. They get their bind next though. That man right there, lying back with a snarl, going to bind next.
अरे काय चालू आहे कसला
just as a
टेक्निकल
quick
पॉज आहे हा.
update as well.
इनचं
for
server
the
crash
reason
झालं असेल.
with the delay right now is that we have a player that has encountered an issue with his mouse. So the match is anticipated
Mouse
to
issue.
resume briefly.
कोणाचा म्हटलं ते?
Stay with us. Here
Player.
at Grand Finals,
Player.
the Masters too. And
Fanatic
you're
असेल.
talking about compositions, and one quick thing I wanted to point out is that that builds into the points we were making about Sentinels playing more slowly, on this attack especially, is that TenZ on that Raze with the Boombot has so much area control as well as answers for the close corners and kind of 50-50 corners that a map like Split presents more so than other maps. Raze is such a good agent in a lot of different scenarios, but particularly in the kind of close and medium ranges of Split. You can play a lot slower. You know, the showstopper is really good at clearing out corners and entering into these areas. The satchels as well. Of course, he did really great for entry, but that early and mid-round control is huge because it means that TenZ can show a lot of presence without really having to necessarily be there. That exchange, I think, is strategically, really plays into what we're discussing in terms of Sentinel's approach on the attack, which is to play really slow, play for control, and to get a better exchange out of that utility.
Yeah, for Raze as well, it seems like she has such good flight paths. You know, the trajectory she can get, the elevation she can start on. Split is a playground for her. So it seems pretty cool that we do get her back in. Still waiting on for these players to get ready and back in. Looking at what I was saying earlier about how FNATIC it's really easy to say things. That situation happens quite a bit with how they decide to move with the spike. At the last moment, you'll see them on Icebox. They did it twice, where it was Mystic and Doma. They were dropping the spike to each other on B long. And they dropped it to Doma, and Doma said, it kind of just figured out the thought. It was Doma was like, no, wait, take the spike back, Mystic. This was the round where Doma put his wall down at B Icebox and then got on top of it and pushed. Whereas before, the strat for them was, that's Doma planting with his wall and Mystic just stays back. So they literally just, they probably run it before, but you'll see them dropping the spike to each other, quick thought, instant hits. They did it again on that Icebox match to the other side of the map where Mystic picked up 3 ult points quick, but the spike was dropped to him immediately after Doma went down to get the spike. They're very quick on their feet with those decisions that I think on attack puts them ahead of most teams here at the tournament.
And I love that you're kind of bringing.
It is a femur. I'm just testing.
To represent our region is, let's just say we weren't expecting it. If you consider our performance at Masters 1, we somehow made this kind of run all the way to Iceland, and now here we are. It's making history. Probably the best gun for the job right now. Coming into Masters 1, we were expected to do pretty well, and yet we fell short again.
पण आपला गेम काय आहे स्काय इन्स्टॉल करायला पाहिजे
3 days
राउंड सोडून कोणातरी खेळायला पाहिजे.
So we didn't have long to practice with the 2 new teammates. However, we just kept beating and winning. Hopefully we're gonna take the trophy here as well. Bring in something fresh that we haven't seen before, so
coordinate करना अवघड पडतं कारण
तो बोलतच नाही काही करण.
एक्झॅक्टली त्याच्याशी तू त्याला सांगू शकतो की हे करते कर बट कोऑर्डिनेट करणं अवघड आहे. म्हणून त्याला डायरेक्ट नाही का रेस खेळ असं आहे मग त्याला कळतं पण हे करायचं ते करायचं.
Star quality that took us to the next level. We got Magnum as well, so he's that consistent, someone that I can rely on kind of character. He's funny, he's charming, he's a great teammate. What I like about playing competitively is the adrenaline, the camaraderie, and just winning. I don't care if they're the seeded 1 team, I don't care if they're the bottom seeded team, I want to smash everyone.
Back to the wall, booster!
Welcome back, everybody. It's certainly great to get to know FNATIC a little bit more. You know,
I
think you were just talking about some of their play styles.
आज 10 मिनिटांनी सगळे
the
झोपेत
Sentinels
गेलेले
players. I
असतात.
feel like the NA region in general has had so much coverage, and some of these players are a lot more
हे
known
लाईक
due to their
आपलं
background.
कस्टम जसं
Coming
होतं
from
ना तसं चालू
Counter-Strike,
आहे
even looking at one of those on screen right now, Sig,
Exactly.
for example, Shazam is a huge
CS
name coming
कस्टम
from Counter-Strike.
थांबलेलं
So
4
it's good
धावे
to
मग
get
नंतर
more light
9
on
जण
Fnatic
झाली
and their players,
आणि एक
given
जण असा 5 मिनिटात
the fact
येणार
that they are
असेल
pretty damn
की
good.
मग
I
रौनक
think that they
बोलतो
are
मध्ये
gonna be
काय
hanging
चालू आहे
out on
रे
this
मी
level
चाललोय
for a long
कॉम्पीला
time
कोणी
to
येतंय का
come.
माझ्याबरोबर की
They
दोघं
will,
जण
they will. And
अजून गेले
the
7
firepower
जण झाली
they
मग
added
अजून
there,
अर्धा तास थांबा कोणी
Boaster was
येतंय का
talking about
बघा
a few, was Magnum and Durka that joined a few days before qualifiers. So they've literally been able to slot into the team. It was like a double tens, if you will, for FNATIC there. And both of these teams saw that trajectory after a change all the way through Masters 2. Dominating powerhouse squads.
अरे चलनच फिक्स काहीतरी
Able
वेगळं
to do it
झालं.
in different ways without teams figuring them out. And I think that's also
no,
one of the
कोणाचं
impressive
mouse
things
fix झालं असतं
is
तर
at
नाही का
the end
mouse
of the
त्याला आज
tournament,
घेऊन
you
दिलं
are
असतं
still
त्याला.
being fresh. You're
like,
still not allowing
seriously,
your
what?
opponents to do enough homework to shut you down.
माऊस जर का
A lot
ब्रेक
of
झाला
this
असेल ना
game
त्याच्याकडे
so
बॅकअप
far
असेल तर
has
तुला
come
अलाउड
down
आहे
to
तो वापर
आहे हो
We
बॅकअप
haven't really
असतंच
seen
नाही रे
utility
जनरली
attacks
प्लेयर्स
too much as we're just getting into
Everyone
our
carries
first
two
round of
mouse
all
at
Smiths are
least.
going to be coming up for
आणि
people.
त्यांच्याकडे खालती
रॅकेट बदलतात
So
तसं
we'll
खेळायला
see
पाहिजे
both
यांच्या
teams
साईडला
now. I
बॅग
think the game could start to flow a little bit more easy.
तसंच असतं रे ऍक्च्युली
But
ऑर्गनी सगळं
असं
अवेलेबल
नाही
करून
as
ठेवलेलं
Marcus
असणार
Mouse
आहे.
issue
त्याचे
fixed
पुढे
now.
बसलेत मागे सगळं नाही का गिअर ठेवलंय एक माऊस रागात आला तोडला बिडला लगेच मागणं घ्यायचं नवीन
And this is definitely a
Full
map
unboxing
that's,
करतोय
you know,
खेळत नाही का राऊंडच्या
the
आधी
pick for Sentinels in this series. It's a map that
Absolutely.
you know we would expect Sentinels to win and for Fnatic to lose. So it should only be alarm bells really if this man
Let the man
हो,
go.
ह्याला म्हणजे गेट केलंच
leading
पाहिजे
his
का
troops to success on this map. So I think having even like a competitive, super competitive scoreline, they're going to feel very good even if they drop this map, Fnatic, because they know that they have the best to come in this series.
त्यांना
Yes.
बोलायला पण
डापाच्या आईस बघ बरं का.
You know, people use the term national treasure. Boaster is a global treasure.
त्याला इकडे बघू दे एकदा
रंग
फक्त.
He really
त्याचा रंग
is.
डोळ्यांचा रंग डेंजर आहे पण लिहिल्यासारखं
अरे
proper
तो
लिहिल्यासारखं.
फुल हाय दिसतो रे
Yeah.
दर वेळेला 24/7 हायच दिसतो.
He's such a
Lele
he's got
तसंच
such an
आहे,
energy to him.
जास्त
It's really cool to see.
नाही लेले
I
फारच
forget who
सोबर
made
दिसतो.
this point. I think I was like I actually heard this on Shao's stream the other day. I think it was maybe the old boys club from the Counter-Strike days. They were kicking it there, and they were just talking about how awesome it is to see in this first LAN event.
Like,
Like, how
लोक अशी
much
full
great
gone
energy we have from the
दिसतात ना.
players. You know, coming out
गांजा
here
वगैरे
and
मारून वगैरे.
dancing around the stage.
तसा
and-
टॅपर
and
दिसतो.
you know, having
कधी पण त्याची
celebrations.
stream
You know,
पाहिली की.
it's really cool to see that personality straight from the get-go.
Yeah.
And that's what esports needs, man.
It does,
drug
because
test
you
वगैरे
know
करत
what?
असतील का?
Well, a beautiful
Oh.
rivalry is being
Maybe, I
created
don't
here
know.
between the
Not yet.
teams.
It's
You get those
different,
little integral rivalries between everybody. Like, who's gonna dance better? Boaster or Potty Fan? You know? Who's gonna be better at that? It's so amazing. I love it. And then you have Shazam and Boaster with that underlying IGL hit. Ooh, oh. Why stop going scissors?
लईच बालिश आहे यार, गेम लईच बालिश आहे
My
राव.
word. Tens goes from duelist to support. Of course he loses. Come on. You can't just duelist 3 times in a row and then go for a rock support, man. All right, whatever. But players are wheeling and dealing throughout this tech pause as we get the mouse figured out. Is there a mouse is there a mouse in the house? A mouse issue? No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, we'll get back on here. Apologize to all the viewers out there, and thank you so much for your patience.
Definitely. Yeah, this is one of those things about, I mean, you know, we've wanted LAN for a long time. And, you know, it's actually really funny. I think, so, oh God, it's been so long now. But I used to reference when we would have any tech issues on LAN, I would reference this speech that Tasteless used to make many, many, many years ago. I think he called it like the vehicle of technology speech or something like that, that he came up with, where he was basically saying, you know, part of LAN is that there's a lot of, you know, moving pieces and there's a lot of tech going on. So sometimes you're going to have a delay and just, you know, it is what it is. And the interesting thing here as well is that we haven't had LAN in so long, you know? So
True.
It's just, I'm just so happy that we have LAN right now.
I am. But these damn peripherals forgot how to work. They haven't been used on LAN in so long. Keyboard's like, what is this atmosphere? No, but yeah, I hear you. It's true. It's true. There's a lot of moving pieces and a lot of respect and ups to everybody behind the scenes that continues to keep that working flawlessly. Because it's usually easy to forget that it's working flawlessly when it is. looking at some of these, we talked about Durka being a huge focus. The FNATIC is really strong once they're moving and they adapt the mid round. I think one of the things we also have to look at for Sentinels here, we're going to be tossing AD, but maybe just thought they can carry unless they have their own, is, you know, Sentinels upper bracket allows them to go through without showing split or Ascent, and they have kind of what's going to happen on these maps. So that is
1v5 झाला
map for
तो
Sentinels.
एक जण जो आहे त्याने असा फुल क्लच केला आणि 1v1 सिच्युएशन वर आणला आणि त्याचा पीसीस क्रॅश झाला.
Truly nailed it. So sorry about that, DDK and Riv. I had to get my smoke in order. So that was why it just took too long for you to get the note. You know, I just had to squat it, and you know what the deal is. You know what I'm alluding to, everyone. Anyway, I'm a grown man making that kind of a joke on broadcast. Anyway, so we are a few rounds in to this matchup, Vansili.
डॅपरला कुठला तरी डेलचा कीबोर्ड दिला होता ना आणि असाच काहीतरी त्याचा कीबोर्ड काहीतरी ब्रेक झाला वगैरे असं काहीतरी झालं होतं.
On both sides.
हो त्याने ट्वीट केलेलं होतं की one with a dull keyboard म्हणून.
On how FNATIC in particular on the defense are playing their composition to try and
स्पेअर त्याला कुठला तरी डेलचा शॉपर कीबोर्ड दिला होता.
Yeah. What actually I love about it for FNATIC is, yes, they've been studying Sentinels. They want to try to figure out a way how they can anti-strat Sentinels at the beginning. And pulling out the Sky and a Viper, I think is already very good looking at this map on split. Off the rip, you're looking at the pistol round. They throw the Viper wall out towards the A choke and already try to flash and get early presence. So already for FNATIC at that point, they already want to set the pace. They want to set the tone. So I love the fact that it looked a little bit jittery when they were shooting, but overall, in terms of how they're prepared strategic-wise, it looked really good. Because when you're thinking about Sentinels, for example, Dapper is always going to be the one that's going to lure towards the A side. So to be able to have like more bodies here towards the A side, play a little bit more close on that choke at the A orb as well, is good ways to just try to get him out of the equation that fast. But I feel that Sentinels at the same time has a different plan too, because a couple of these rounds, when you're putting these bodies for FNATIC on the A side, well, Dapper is working towards middle. Dapper is actually working towards B side, even though his kit's towards A. So the conditioning from Sentinels off the get-go, just from past footage of how they play the game, was a great start for them to get all these rounds on the attacker side too.
And Mitch, to bring you in on that, right? I know like you have been commentating these boys for a while now, FNATIC, and there has been this discussion regarding split. It's like, well, you know, they're not really supposed to win split anyway because of X, Y, and Z reasons. But it does feel like FNATIC, you know, as they should, have entered this grand final with the mindset of, no, we have put in some work onto this. We know that there's a plan that we want to try and execute on. It just so happens that Sentinel is making that game plan a little hard to push forward with that, you know, given what we've seen from the composition so far.
Players असे बसून आहेत. This is so bummer.
I think that's one of the things we expect from FNATIC, though. They innovate a lot.
Especially grand finals मध्ये होते बरं का. पहिल्या दिवस
Yeah, it's a 5-map pool. Realistically, you should always be able to add depth in.
That's right. Well, folks, I did get word that we were ready to go back into the game. So let's send it over to Rivington and DDK to walk us through the action.
काय म्हणजे असं पहिला दिवस आहे काय व्हायला.
Thank you very much. Exactly. Here we go again. 5-2 is the score. We were close. Just joining us. This is the grand finals of Masters 2 Reykjavík. Europe versus North America, or North America versus Europe.
त्याचा परत माइस ब्रेक झाला तर अजून मजा येईल.
First on the pecking order there. As the conclusion of this one, but Rib, we're back into it. Once again, Dirk on the operator.
काय माहिती.
फाईन केला पाहिजे म्हणते प्लेयर.
Moving forward, this is a big round for FNATIC. Not too much money in the bank. If they were to lose this one, the reset, Durka would be about $1,900 strong. So you see how much this round means to them as they continue to move slow.
The
Viper's
pit
about to happen.
That's an interesting choice. You know, what do you do against this Viper?
Oh my God! He's just caught.
Oh, Sam, that is a dirty peek there onto Durka. Oh my goodness, Durka was just pulling off of the angle. The timing couldn't have been better for Shazam. And that's a huge win given the Viper's pit on A right now.
Well, the thing is, they throw that Viper's pit down, and you're almost guaranteed to have somebody walk over to Shazam and mid. They're not going to fully commit towards A, so you're already kind of dictating how the map is going to work from that side of FNATIC. However, Shazam hits that shot as they cross, so FNATIC
शजामवरचा कॉन्फिडन्स बघ ना की हेवन वरनं पीक घेणारच नाही मला कॅमेरा तोडतोय.
Sentinels now looking to barrel through B main to find their way into that site. FNATIC are up on B heaven at the moment, trying to do what they can to defend this, and the suck there on 10.
सॅचलनी पडतात नाही बाहेर त्या सक्च्या.
Magnum going close. Magnum's in trouble. It's going to find the head of Shazam. No trade able to be had there behind the wall. Sentinels still though winning the site, doing the damage they need to, but Magnum still has some site control himself. Here for FNATIC, still with the swing and another win from Magnum. How is he causing so many issues here? Sentinels, they're really stuck at the back of the site with not too much space to work with. Shazam there on the knives, able to take down Magnum. Finally, the Sentinels are closing the distance, but now it's so sick to try to save this one. And there comes the play around the poison orb from Boaster. Wow, what a beautiful hold. Magnum.
एक number round काढलाय FNATIC ने, especially Magnum.
A fantastic round. Magnum as well got a little one way. Confusing, but he said no. Just the pressure, because as soon as Magnum started getting kills and there'd be a call out from Sentinels, you almost have to figure out where
या मॅच मध्ये तरी या ह्याच्यामध्ये मास्टर्स मध्ये तरी असं केलेलं नाही.
But he's hiding basically in plain sight right around the corner. So he created so much pressure there. Boaster and Doma here able to finish the round.
पहिला एम पंच बसला रे.
FNATIC played that so smart. It was actually a chess game inside B-side.
Yeah, and that's a quick technical point is, having the wall gives the defenders a lot of
केवढं पॉवरफुल आहे
एक शॉट घेतला असता तर कॉलआउट वगैरे मिळाला असता काय.
Straight into the site. And there's nobody here. It's a free site.
शपथ रे तो 21 झाला रे आणि त्यात.
Great damage there. Shazam finishes him after the dash forward. It's a trade back and forth. 4v4.
Facebook कसली वसली आहे. Nice trade.
It gets a little bit quiet here for a moment as we can see.
I think they can win this.
Trying to coordinate all through screens pretty much. Magnum will come through on the lonesome out of heaven, but the rest through elbow. Sick is ready with the Sheriff, takes down Boaster, and is optimistic now to try to get that trade. The flash comes in there.
ह्यांनी दोघांनी रॅप बघ कसा केला. मेले तरी what?
Keep on coming, but so does Sick with that Sheriff. Pulls out the Phantom now, looking for the next battle. Out comes the Sheriff. This is so labored here for Sick. He's got to get around to the spike, but Magnum has just enough time on the defuse. FNATIC, great retake from them. 3-4 against Sentinels 5.
Left me.
FNATIC so much stronger this time around. I'm recalling Haven where they were having the post plants are
सेंटर काही खेळलाय तो मॅग्नम. कसला दिलाय त्याने तो स्प्रे ट्रान्सफर.
4 to 5. And they are starting to find their
allowed
the rest of the team to continue to buy full util here.
More independent degree this screen.
36
करतच नाही दुसरे प्लेयर एवढे नाहीच खेळत.
Literally
it is great that they can start picking these up.
Oh wow, Shazam getting a pick very early on here.
Oh what?
Now the question is, what is the response from FNATIC? You can't really take a loss that early on, lying down. But what's the issue? Goes through, actually kills himself with a showstopper with the Doma, and now it's a 3v3. Magnum falling to be heaven. Sentinels might want to try to reset the situation here, especially after that neural theft. We might see slow this one down, but Shazam still pressing, and he will find the kill.
After a bit of a miss. Raider. They had to rebuy. It could just be a sheriff round for them again. But it is going to bring us up to round 11 after this one. 5 to 4 so far. And again, we got a round for round. And this is what happened last time, Dan. Is in Icebox and Haven when we got the maps between these two teams. The previous maps. It was round for round, 13-11 and 13.
तुला परत फोन कॉल येईल मग तुझा डिस्टर्ब होईल.
A very similar series here.
Yeah, definitely. This is a great matchup, and this is, it honestly feels like a pretty good start for both teams at the moment. Recognizing that this should on paper be a stronger map for Sentinels. Sentinels on paper should be winning this one. And the series is going to be close. even with that.
Valorantला
हे फनाटिक केव्हापासून करते माहिती का
फर्स्ट राउंड पासून करतोय.
And look how quickly
फर्स्ट राउंड
Sentinels also
सोड मास्टर्स चालू झाल्यापासून करतायत रे ते.
after that pick, they definitely didn't want any time for Fnatic to regroup there.
काय केलं पण अरे वायपर वेंट्स खेळते तिचा स्मोक टाकते बनवे रामेनच्या इथे आणि मग उड्या मारत मेल मध्ये जाते. स्टजांनी शॉवर्सला डॅश आणि अपड्राफ्ट केला त्या बॉक्स वर तिकडे आहे ना कार्डबोर्ड बॉक्स.
पहिले 2 राउंड बघितल्यावर मला अशी शंका आली मरणार आहे असं करताना.
तर ती आतापर्यंत एकदा पण कॉट झाली नव्हती बरं का. लाईक तो वन वे टाकायला तेच करायला लागतं.
And I have to say, Rib, I love what they're doing right now. They're just holding B main. They can give up B heaven completely. And if there was a rotation back to B main for Sentinels, Durka's going to get picked with the operator. So this is a really cool rotation from Fnatic. A mix up.
माझ्याकडे 1-6 आहे.
Ready for this.
allows him to enter 9 more. And this is what we talked about before, as we said, this is where Fnatic space will now make it
tap close कर आणि मग परत हे कर.
to just rest. They don't have to worry and feel like they aren't getting a return on the
तू पण 7 सेकंद
माझं 45 वर आहे आता.
आता YouTube वर गेलंय. आता YouTube वरती आहे
1 मिनिट 6 स्कोर चालू आहे ना स्कोर.
Not really much info. They put up a wall, I should say. So you will get a reaction there from Fnatic to start.
6-4 चा 30 seconds.
Durka shoot in B main as well, so they've cut noise. I think they want Durka to rotate, but in they go through to B main now. After that long delay, Sentinels trying to remove Fnatic from position. But all they have is position right now. Boaster drops down into Dapper. He's got basically no time to plant this spike. Given that it's up
time nahi yachavar tani tiri ka
he
टाकलं.
might have just enough time here, but they are going to spring on top of it.
At the peak shoot.
Dapper find a way to make this all work. Magnum will put him out of his misery, and Fnatic will clinch the round. Beautiful hold from them. Didn't like that long delay from Sentinels.
Equalize
Poster here.
Mac pick कोणाचा आहे हा?
Roasting everybody that comes around. 5 minutes that spot.
एक HP होता रे तो.
HP gets 3. And I love the way that Fnatic played the final kill against Dapper as he came around. If both of them peak, that's the collapse. That's the lineup. Except Mystic was like, you peak, Magnum, you have a judge, go do that.
इकडचा अँगल जरा खूपच अवघड आहे
They
क्लिअर
play it that
करायला.
way. Fnatic goes ahead, grabs up whatever rifles they can, feeling even better now as they start a bit of a bankroll here and possibly tie up the first half versus Sentinels.
Cage up there. We'll get Sentinels looking to shove all in. It would appear towards this A side. Cosmic Divide comes through, and Sentinels looking to get some kills here.
अरे हा काय वॉल टाकलाय हिने.
Yeah, I think they're just trying to provoke a reaction.
Chris
trying to get
cross झाले
kills.
तो.
Right.
And interestingly, there's 2 players on the
Shit चालू
side.
आहे.
भाऊ हा काय
Mystic
नाही
somewhat
तिने काय
alone in
केलंय पण
heaven.
हे.
So there might be the opportunity to spring onto
त्या
that
अटॅकर
position.
वाल्या असताना
Kevin
ती वायपरची जी वॉल टाकतो ना आपण
हा.
तशी वाली वॉल टाकली आहे आणि डिफेंडर
And then
वाल्यांनी
things will get very weird.
हेवन आणि साईडला
Then-
कट
then
केलं.
Oh.
Hides there, Durka opens up on Shazam for the jet on jet.
Revenge.
And 45 seconds left in this round means A is most likely going. Hides there.
Time.
Already set.
30 seconds left चंद्रने.
Sees the stars coming through. Here comes Shazam. It's going to be the 5v5.
Oh, and a
Oh, and
pick.
he actually pops the knives as well, Shazam. Oh, over the toxic screen! Shazam's doing damage, takes down Doma. And 6 also able to get rid of Mystic from A-Heaven, so this is a good effort right now from Sentinels. They're pulling ahead of this one. Fnatic are struggling. It's down to Boaster, and he is not going to be able to deny the bomb. This is a very difficult position for Boaster.
तो बाइंडिंग
Sentinels
खेळत
not
होता
with
त्याला
the
वाटलं
greatest
टीपी घेणार
economy
होता
going into this round, but finding a way to make it work.
अरे कमेंट्री कशी ऑफ करायची
to
राव.
get
Commentary. आवाज कमी कर commentary.
every single shot.
अच्छा त्याचा इंडिव्हिज्युअल करता येतं का?
Disciplined and methodical.
नाही नाही अख्ख्याचाच आवाज कमी करायचा. सगळ्याचाच कमी होईल आवाज. एक अजून एक युट्यूब वर आहे ज्याच्यावर विदाउट कॉमेंट्री हे करता येतं पण माझ्याकडे ती लिंक नाही.
कसला दिलाय तो सिकनी.
तो 1 HP चा होता. सो काय बॉडी लाईक काही पण बसला असता तरी मेला होता तो.
Great back and forth. So you see there, Sentinels as well are ready to initiate with something
ठीक है
that
पण
heavy
0-5
just to
वरना
take
7-5
position,
गेला.
just to read how the
0-5
0-5 नव्हता 1-4 वगैरे असं काहीतरी
हा
होतं.
1-4 वरना
It was
7-5.
just about grabbing ramp, understanding the rotation, and then after you get that information, then running your execution.
Bind आहे का? Bind घेतला का Sentinels?
FNATIC 5
BO5 आहे, so
7 as we get to
सगळे
the
येणार
second
आहेत.
half. What a first half by both teams. Easily could have been a 6-6 as we just saw, and we'll see
उनका
how they
best of
play
five
out.
चे
Bit of
5
a
map खेळले
team here
पाहिजेत
from
बस.
the side of FNATIC as they start off.
All going up
ती
immediately.
वॉल
there.
आधी तुटली असते रे, स्कायनी फ्लॅश नसता केला तर.
Does take a while to deal with those pistols.
त्याचा बडी कुठला आहे तो? ऑक्टोपस नवीन आणून दिसतो.
Sick just
अरे याच्यातलं आहे बॅटल पास मधलं
win
आहे.
for FNATIC early on. Sick burning.
लाल ऑक्टोपस येतो पण तो जर तू ओमेनच्या ह्याच्यावर लावलास तर तो पर्पल होतो.
हॅलो आवाज
There
येतोय?
is.
येतं.
We have FNATIC slowly ambling their way up middle.
उचलायला लागेल त्याला.
Little noise.
ती कधी घुसणार आहे?
So they have full
आपली
control over what would be
Sky.
the vent side now. They can decide to hang out here.
थांबली यांच्यासाठी.
काय फक्त ती
You can
फ्लँक होल्ड
see how
करते.
much FNATIC are saying Sentinels loves to push, or at least have one push. You still have Boaster on one
ह्यांच्याकडे
side,
read
don't
आहे
go all the
बरोबर.
way on the other. So the
एक
Easy,
तिघ जण आलेत
intention
ऑलरेडी.
is to try and
तो
read
smoke पण
Sentinels
काय
aggression
timing वर
right
टाकलाय.
off the rip. And
तर
it doesn't
शजामने पहिले
परत
2
मागे
राउंड टेस्ट
no
केलेला.
denial pretty much from both sides here towards the middle of the round with 30
ओ
seconds
तो
left.
नेड फक.
काय नीड आणि ते
Yeah,
काय
it's gonna have to be
टाइमिंग
that
आहे.
B push coming through now here for FNATIC. Surely, there's actually no
Nice.
fake it.
तो केवढ्या लवकर हे आला रे सकाळला तो.
Ready for this. They have 3 players. Oh, 3 players ready on the side to defend. In comes the
Ready,
grab.
nice.
Oh, that's a perfect time
Oh
to slow
my
down.
god.
And very well tees up Shazam for
दो
that
मध्ये
frag.
कोल्ला रे.
FNATIC
What?
एवढे डेंजर आहे रे ते.
is immovable from that
Starting
position.
leg घाण होतं.
Sentinels.
बसून राहतात रे ते.
मारला का?
आरामात
काय
बसून
कसा
राहिले.
मारला नक्की?
FNATIC can't find the
कोणाला रे?
finish they were looking for.
सिक ना
And
डोमाला.
this is what we talked about earlier, Rib, too. You know,
Stop.
so
हे
हाय.
टेन्सनी शेवटचा खेळ घेतला डोमावर. तो काय स्मोक थ्रू घेतला का सिटी वर?
सिकनी काय केलं भाऊ पळत आलाय तो. What?
आपले क्लास नाही चालू रे. अजिबात नाही चालत. आपले क्लास एक पॉइंट ब्लँक वर पण 0 डॅमेज करतात.
हा आणि पॉइंट ब्लँक वर मारले की 3 गोळ्या 3 वेगळ्या साईडला जातात डोक्याच्या.
एक्झॅक्ट.
माझा ब्रीज वरचा आठवतंय.
Wow. That
B
was something
side
else
वर.
from Sick.
तू नव्हतास करता गेला.
Quick slow.
स्लो
Strat shut
स्लो आणि
down.
वॉल कॉम्बो
He
कसला
just
भारी
says,
आहे.
"I'm throwing
लाईक
it
ती
out anyway."
वॉल पूर्ण मॅच्युअर होऊन जाते.
So they know they'll have to figure out if it's going to be the sheriff and regular save. They do hear a few sheriffs out there, DDK. So Tens tries to figure out more of what's going on. It's going to be the util combo.
क्लासिकचा बसवला रे.
Oh, shot in the face. Almost fell prey to a paint shell there.
FNATIC versus Sentinels
Yeah, another reason we know that Breeze is so good. Just paint shells, really excellent at pushing people back on middle.
FNATICला ही गन हरावून हवाय.
Going on to A. Let's see what FNATIC have.
नाही मिळत.
As long as their elbow. Actually, in a
Middle
scary
पण
position,
FNATICला.
Tens will come through to lend him a hand.
कुठं?
रनगन केला ना गेला रे तो.
त्यांनी पायावर
Is lost. That's actually, I think.
पायावरती एम होता.
The one time run and gun doesn't work.
Third frag found from
तो जॉन्स कसला गेला रे पळत.
Sakura.
टायमिंग काय
But yeah, will take him down. But 3 kills, I think.
26,
That's more than you could have
25,
expected
24,
from
23.
FNATIC.
तो
That's a
4
big hit on the
4-5 सेकंद पुढे
side
येतो
of
माझ्या.
Sentinels, especially the way they
माझा
like
आता 20 आहे.
trying to get Shazam
आणि
off.
अगदीच नेहमी
माझं
पसंत
15,
करतो.
माझं 13, 12, 11,
10, 9, 8.
स्पॉइलर द्यायचं का त्यांना? 4, 3, 2, 1.
सगळे आपल्या एक्सप्रेशन वर त्यांचं ऑलरेडी डोळे नव्हताच असेल.
What?
Oh,
come on.
FNATIC going quick.
अरे FNATICचं काय खरं नाही बरं का.
Oh,
लईच
man.
रे खूपच सॅड आहे.
Oh my word.
Those Astra stars
भाऊ आकाशात
इझी विथ
पुश करतोय.
यांच्यासाठी.
are being very effective here for Sentinels. Shazam's
Flawless.
charge. This seems
Hi.
very difficult.
Melee,
Quite
raise
hard
melee.
for FNATIc. They're
Arre.
getting pulled apart. Player by player here.
Oh.
1v2.
Able to find a couple kills. Mystic also chimes through. Mystic has just made himself
Clutchable
a
round.
1v2.
इझी करू शकते तसं.
डॅपर बघ ना कुठं थांबलाय पण.
पर नाही देत. डॅपर असतो होऊन देत.
That is a possibility here for Mystic. Would have to
Mystic
cross
is-
though.
He's spiced up a few rounds, honestly. If we remember his icebox round, the pistol he clutched with the double pistol, and then
Zombs मरते probably आता.
in these tight
Zombs are key,
situations.
yeah,
We're
yeah.
watching as somebody else on the team, like Magnum, kind of flying around. But the Quiet Viper, the info grabber here, Phantom in hand, definitely able to
Mystic जर का थांबला ना तर Zombs हरतो आता.
these kind of intense situations.
30 seconds left.
Yeah, using the orb to suggest that he's
Zombs
actually using the
मरते.
orb as a fake.
पण मला
Oh, what? उलटा फिरला तो.
Nice
कसं
रे.
फिरला पण तो
And now possibly got to
Five,
have the
three,
right
eight,
timing.
that's-
Someone's going to have that better timing. Finds Mystic. I think
Couldn't
Mystic
have
played
done
that
it.
extremely
Perfect
well.
वाला उलटा
Timing,
फिरला.
timing.
10th round
Yep.
on the board here for Sentinels.
झाडांना तुमच्या सगळेच फायदा बसतात रे.
Expected map for Sentinels to bag
बाकी
it
राव मी
at the beginning of this best of 5 finals against FNATIC.
मी पण मी 4 वेळा चेंज केलं रे आता.
As we said,
Charge
before,
बघताय तुम्ही
let's just
सगळे?
recap those maps
Oh.
out of Challengers 2 all the
मला
way
त्यामध्ये
through. Split
लोडिंग
was
स्क्रीन आला
played 10
त्यामध्ये
times
गेलं बरं टाइम
by Sentinels with a great
एक
win
सेकंद
rate on that, and only 3
आपण असं करायचं का? Discord वरती stream
well,
करू.
teams have practiced it. and
30
they've got
FPS वर
themselves
720p वर
much
बघायला
different
लागेल
in
रे,
the
काही
stage
कळणार
game.
पण नाही.
You're seeing the
भाऊ
comfortability
ऍडव्हर्टाइज लागली व्हॉट द
of
फक
those 10 players,
लागली?
of the consistent testing
Ad blocker
that
वापर रे.
Sentinels was able to get here. Going through 10 to 5 now, as you said, Dan. We're going to see another A strat coming now
Wait, what?
out of FNATIC.
त्याच्याकडे फायर स्टिक आहे रे.
Yeah, very fast push there up a ramp. Pressuring A heaven.
Fire stick वर पण असेल
Taking it away
कुठेतरी.
from Sentinels.
Ad
Boaster
blocker वगैरे
actually
काहीतरी.
picking off Zombs here,
अरे
so they
6
have
सगळं
some
डॅमेज घेतोय रे त्या हॉर्सचा.
sprays through the poison orb. That's going to slow down the spike plant. Sentinels being held at bay by this poison orb just for the moment.
कॅमेरा वाली
What?
लावली
Sick.
Not really any post plant positioning here for FNATIC. It's going to be a hard hold, but that's a good start there from Magnum indeed.
बॉट कॅम का बघतोय तू? कॅम का बघतोय?
Nice Viper's pit.
विचारलं नाही ना ते तुला
What do they have?
गाणं
They
मारत
throw a
होते.
cam in there. If it's up,
अरे.
cam's not up.
काय मारला?
ओई शपथ काही पण होता.
Tracers मुळे कळालं त्याला कुठे होता.
Obvious काढणार आहे पण तो.
right corner.
नाही ट्रेसर्स मुळे कळालं आता पण.
Valorant allow you to just kind of draw your cursor down the wall, find
Oh,
the
Phantom
That's
Body.
exactly how they find that kill in the Viper's pit. Now into the site.
Nice
या
start
बाहेर
by
या.
Doma,
Exit
though.
या.
Oh,
Easy.
two
असं का थांबलंय?
kills with that sheriff, and now suddenly Dapper's without any
Tens
time
भाऊ
here.
12
तरी मारलाय
There's no
बोलतोय.
time for him to actually do this
She-
one anymore, and they're just trying to get out of there. Dapper's going to at least try to make it hurt, but no, Mystic actually denies Dapper. Will go down, but he got the kill on Dapper, and that's FNATIC. with
भाऊ
the
तिने
sixth
याच्याने
round
मारलं
now.
रे.
किती का ठीक आहे म्हणजे टीम सगळे एकत्र आले भाऊ.
Doma's sheriff
Frenzy
is
OP.
something else. Oh my word. He continues
तर
to
एक
come up with
टेन्स
this
तो कॉर्नर
fabulous
क्लिअर करायला
spells.
गेला आणि त्या वायपरच्या अल्टमुळे असा तो ती
Gets a
विजन ब्लॉक
peek
झालेली असणार
once
100%.
and says, nah, you don't even get a second chance. Another headshot.
Nice.
Doma
Nice बोलायची सवय केली आहे रे.
That was absolutely huge for FNATIC.
And that kill from
इको
both.
काढते बघ या आता.
How does he outperform
Nice.
a Phantom or a Spectre, even a Spectre?
Kaiji
that
ulti.
Frenzy? Unbelievable there. Really crazy that
Yeah.
FNATIC won that round. And
Pistol
well,
का
it's
केलं
down to
यांनी?
Sentinels. They're down to pistols here. It's just a bunch of
पैसे
sheriffs
दाखवतच नाही
themselves
याचं आपल्याला माहित नाही.
and a frenzy. So we'll have to see if
Exactly.
they
ते दाखवलं
can
पाहिजे त्यांनी.
somehow thrifty this one. Shazam does
Crowd
have
पण
the
बोलत
blade.
होता.
शझॅमला एक किल
Couple
मिळाला
knives
ना.
out. Still looking for the kill.
डाऊनची फिरणार आहे सगळं.
You'd want to see Shazam
Full
do what
करणार आहे
he
तो.
did in the first half.
आर आर
Find that aggressive pick, dash away.
एकच राहिलाय नाईफ.
That's what he's
डॅश
looking
कर रे आता फक्त डॅश कर
for.
एकावर.
Nice gone. Can he find it
एक
with the
किल भाऊ
last
एक
one?
किल मिळेल शजाम.
डायरेक्ट ए वर रोटेट बघ.
ऑइल नाही आता एकच
So
नाही पुरले.
intense,
ए
Shazam.
वरती
They
एकच आहे
don't wanna
त्यांचा.
give him to give me that
Could be
back.
everything.
अरे काय?
Boaster says, push me. They're ready. So Boaster's saying, okay,
त्यांना कळत नाहीये
Sam
का?
in mid. Everybody rotate deep back spawn all the way
थोड्या वेळाने
through
केलेली
where
पेटल.
Magnum has been grabbing
ती
a bit of
वायपरची
control.
वॉल
No
आली आहे ना
push,
तिकडे
no
त्यामुळे
nothing. Might
थोडंसं
let those
कन्फ्युज्ड
stars
आहे.
go down.
खास अल्ट
Eye
टाकली.
gets put up towards the left side. This triggers what would be a
Wow.
vulnerable होता
Now
तो
they're about
त्याच्यामध्ये
to
त्यामुळे
hit A,
मेला.
and it's only going to be Zombs.
Zombs, though, he's actually able to take down Pumas somehow lethal perfectly.
काय
Still
फ्रेंजी
forward,
मारलाय
still
वयला.
a plant here coming through for FNATIC. Still Shazam with that one single
Backstab
knock.
होतोय.
Is he able to
डॅपरने
get
आता
a
तो
headshot with it? That's
फ्रंट
the
शालावर का
question.
किल काढला ना.
And refresh those
तर
numbers.
Backstab कुठे आहे ते?
There's a
हे
real
आलाय
opportunity
बघतो
here for
वरती.
sure.
सिक्सच्या मागे.
Trying to get that
Poster.
elbow.
गोष्ट
I like it. This is where all those days of watching Shazam in the range doing jumping 360 headshots with
Just needs that one frag.
खराब रे.
What the fuck? Finds another. The updraft over the top here as he tries to.
Oh
my God, Shazam! He's making this one work. It's down to 6 now.
Nice one,
Truly hard. How does he?
Oh my God.
लास्ट होती रे त्याच्यातच परफेक्ट बसवलं.
एक नाही फरक नाही दोन.
Two teams can win. I think Shazam won there for himself and FNATIC.
त्याच्या पाचवी बसल्या का तिला?
तीन बसले.
What an awesome
ते काही होतं.
हेड बसला ना पण एक त्यामुळे विशेष नाही.
नाही पण राईट क्लिकला हेड बसला की 145 डॅमेज होतं. लाईक 150 नाही होत.
टेन्स पेक्षा भारी खेळतो बरं का Shazam.
अति होतंय थोडं पण ठीक आहे. Shazam पण भारी आहे. लाईक ऑफ वर चांगला येतो टेन्स पेक्षा.
Tens overall as an agent better.
रिफ्लेक्स टायमिंग वर नाही बोलत आहे. लाईक तू त्याला पीक घेतला आणि त्याच्या क्रॉसर मध्ये आला तर टेन्स मारेल तुला. पण क्लिक वाईज जर का बोलायला गेला तर Shazam भारी आहे.
नाही ट्रान्स ओव्हरऑल वर नाही की एजंट युसेज वरती टेन्स बेटर आहे त्याच्यापेक्षा.
हां.
No mid presence really at all here for FNATIC. Sorry for
ठीक आहे माझं तरी चुकलेलं आहे प्रेडिक्शन. आत्तेच खरं आहे का बघू आपण.
Walking it out, making sure nobody comes down.
12-9.
That's about it. They will start to push up slightly. They want to grab a little vent control to make sure the rotation is there.
आज prediction FNATIC हराव जिंकेल असं
this far
वाटतं.
up as well.
नाही FNATIC हारेल असं वाटतं.
You get a lot
नाही
of
जिंकेल
little
हाफ
audio
मॅच.
cues, footsteps,
कसं
people
आहे?
being a heaven.
अवघड आहे.
अवघड आहे.
माझं
Have to be shooting people.
100:0
Positioning on
odds
the
आहेत
map
म्हणजे.
can
पण मी
just
त्याच्यावर
deliver you
लावणार.
so much information. Now you also have
1x bait.
Dapper in that situation of vent, and they're waiting to get this play. If Shazam gets himself pinged out and found
30
out.
seconds left.
Go they go
He's
here.
going to be opping on that defensive side with the operator, though. Said he might shy away from it, but nope.
अगला बरं.
That's delaying so much. Those smokes, you can't
14
really
second
those
रे.
smokes. And they're going to have
वेळच
to
नाही
go towards
त्यांच्याकडे. कसले
A here
कन्फ्युज
to try
झाले.
to sell this as
Oh,
a fake
hardly
race,
round.
trying to make the
Equal.
entrance be easier. And it might actually be the case here because
Dara
FNATIC
plan.
are going to get themselves across.
होतोय.
Maybe 6
काय
to
timing
9.
आहे
There's no
रे.
time here. There's no time. They've got to try to
Last
pop this one.
second
The
वर.
trade does come through.
Oh, they're going to get it.
Deny Sig and
Tapper
indeed
जा
with
जाऊन check कर.
half a
Please
second
poster ला
remaining,
check
they
कर
pick
आता.
it up. And now Sentinels have to retake, but
Right
they
again,
get
man.
some position.
But I think they know
Work
he's
from
there.
Boaster.
ते इग्नोर करणार.
काय
जाऊ दे
माहिती?
म्हणजे.
If he times it,
ओ तो
बघितलं.
गेला होता रे चेक करायला.
can't be too quick, can't be too slow.
Oh, Boaster.
It's a delicate dance,
Nice.
and he's going to absolutely nail Shazam.
Boaster
One
was
more
in
player
fact
to go,
literally.
and he can just try to pressure here, and then comes his teammate
Only one
Dome
guy.
in for the assist. And then that leaves it on Dapper. Dapper is not looking good from this spot. There's the tap.
त्यांचे ऑन साइड दोघं होते तरी पण कसा काय प्लांटून दिला यांनी.
Defense
Trade
there
झाले
on
ना?
that spike from FNATIC.
Kill झालं.
रेड जाऊन लगेच प्लांट बसला.
Was that round
How did
18?
my FNATIC हरावून कसे जिंकले मला खरंच प्रश्न वाटला.
I am keeping that
Oh,
in my
to
head.
last-
Holy
Last
FNATIC.
second पर्यंत मारलं.
Literally in between Sentinels in their own defensive strategy. Look at Doma.
खास
What
round
is
होता.
this?
त्याच्याने हेवन कंट्रोल सोडला ना.
Perfectly
तो
by
खाली गेला.
FNATIC.
तेवढा था आला.
To just be waltzing
Worthy.
around Sentinels defense and they're
I
still
think,
wondering what's going on.
FNATICचं तो desperate A type A नाही का A rush करायचा
Let's see what
try.
they got here coming into round
That's
19.
sell.
Yeah, we talked about how losing that round.
Sentinelsला 2 सेकंद वाटलं की खरंच A होतंय.
नावी टाइप
FNATIC have
खेळलेत
broken
ते आता.
Sentinels' economy really. They're stuck on pretty crappy weapons, except Dapper, who does have the best gun in the game, of course, in the judge. But with that said, we'll see if he's able to use it here because FNATIC, what we want to see from them is
Sheriff बाप दिसते
all
राव की.
levels really should
हाँ, हाँ.
have
Sheriff सगळ्यात
anti-eco,
वापरते.
anti-force by
सिंग्युलॅरिटी आणि रिव्हर.
आयन पण बाप आहे.
एवढी नाही आवडत पण लाईक रिव्हर आणि सिंग्युलॅरिटी खूप भारी आहेत. त्या सिंग्युलॅरिटीच्या स्किनचे व्हेरियंट्स कडक आहेत.
आवाज भारी आहे.
गन डिझाइन ऑब्वियसली रिव्हर बेटर आहे.
looking to close towards the A side.
Reload काय आहे त्याचा?
Most defenders are at this point.
Viper wall offside.
ही शझामची वर्षन कधी चेक होत नाही.
The smoke over on B currently.
कधीच
Poster just did. Activated the heaven smoke as well as they hit A with all those Astro Stars, and now Shazam's gonna start him off.
सगळे स्टार्सच नाही आहेत पण.
That's a good start as well for Zoms actually, as he's holding backside still. That's a spike down as well. So the true intention.
इको मध्ये कसं काढतात हे लोक?
What? Sick right side bug.
सांग की
Magnum trying to wrap it
त्या सिकला सांगितलंच नाही कोणी.
खूप फास्ट झालं ते असं सिक पुढे बघत होता.
Dapper's cam shenanigans and it's all up to Dapper and he does not have
बरंच हातातला राऊंड होता यार यांचा.
That's the round for Fnatic.
काइंड ऑफ गेला.
नाही आता बाय राऊंड आहे. आता बाय राऊंड आहे सेंटिनल्स. त्यामुळे अजून आहे माझं प्रेडिक्शन.
What we said before. Boaster said it. I repeated what he said.
Maybe म्हणजे आहे पॉसिबल आहे.
Based team. And you can actually look at it
ह्याच्यावर होता रे नक्की. क्रॉसहेअर वर फोकस्ड होता खूप जास्त. त्याला कळालं डॅपरने नक्की कॉम्स दिलेला असणार आहे.
But Fnatic knew exactly where the rest of the rebuttal would be from Sentinels that they could.
Oh, what?
Momentum is giving them the agency to continue to control these rounds. Is it shut down though? Is Shazam with one shot there? Durka comes in, takes down tens. Is it another? Yes.
रौनक स्टाइल खेळला आता
Charging his way forward, another dash comes in to try to keep that pace high, taking that B side by force. And Sentinels don't have too much at the moment. They're really
पण तू एकदा कंपॅरिझन होती आणि ती पण बॅड वे मध्ये होती. त्यामुळे एवढं काही चांगलं वाटत नव्हतं.
Have to get the plant first though, and Sick is going to try to drop in as Dapper also gets that angle, but
कधीतरी 100 होती पण ते टन्सनी त्याला ब्लॉक नव्हतं करायला हवं.
replaces Sick's position.
I think तो ह्यालाच उभा होता but that pull मुळे तो पुढे आला
Big players here. Spike now just being planted. Dome is going to hit everything.
अरे ते सेंटिनल्स असं वाटायला लागले.
And Zoms will get traded.
त्याचं पण प्रेडिक्शन केलेलं आहे.
फक्त माझं प्रेडिक्शन उरलेलं आहे.
Right here on screen right now.
आता
10 to 10, they
फक्त
tie up the score.
राईट क्लिक केलं रे. फक
टेन्सने उगाचच रेस घेतली. रेनावर चांगला खेळतो तो आता.
नाही या मॅपवर राणा कधीच नाही करत. रेसच करत.
नाही खेळत तो. या मॅपवर रेसच.
कुठे घुसला ते स्क्रीनच्या.
This is when Fnatic knows. I'm sorry. This is when Boaster knows.
हा ना.
यांनी बाय केलाय परत. फक हाफ बायवर काहीतरी केलाय. सगळ्यांकडे नाईफ्स पण नाही आहेत.
हाफ बाय हा ते कारण
टेन्स इन्स्टेन आहे मार्शलवर एवढं नक्की आहे.
Fnatic once again running the same
सगळ्यांकडे आर्मरच नाही.
सगळ्यांकडे
पण हाफ आर्मर.
Sentinels to defend this one as they are now outside of the sites. Out.
ती वॉल फक्त त्याच पोझिशन साठी आहे. बाकी कुठेच हेल्प नाही करत आहे. काय वॉल आहे?
Shazam's been spotted.
Oh my god.
And give up that phantom. It's almost better to stay alive and just keep Shazam on
अरे
that.
ही वॉल लिटरली त्याच्यासाठी आहे फक्त.
Oh wow.
Oh, but this is either 2000 IQ or 10 IQ.
0 IQ.
At Viper's Pit too. They are trying to lock this.
2000 level. 2000.
अर्धे सेंटिनल्स.
Icebox is that they will use Cosmic Divide and Viper's Wall.
Fnatic comes back and wins this map. Oh my god.
पैसे दाखव रे किती कोणाकडे.
ACS काय असतं?
Average
combat score.
Average combat score.
हाफ बाय आता.
नाही काहीच बाय नाही.
अरे आपके तीन जवळ बसलाय बोस्टर.
त्याच्याकडे नाईफ्स तरी आहेत का? नाही अजून एक
राहिला.
टेन्स कडे अल्ट आहे.
दाखवतात पैसे.
फुल बाय आहे.
फुल बाय ग्लास कॅन केलाय. ग्लास कॅन
अवघड होईल.
दोघा जणांनी हाफ आर्मर पण केलाय.
शजामकडे शून्य आर्मर.
टॅपरकडे काही युटिलिटी पण नाहीये.
आणि नो वॉल नाही आहे सगळे सेटची. Sentinels can very much lose this.
या राऊंड वर आहे सगळं.
त्याची ऑफ जर निघाली तर मग हारलेच.
हा ऑपरेटर निघाली तर मग
लॅन जिटर्स घालवायचे त्यांना.
Yeah, Sentinels trying to mind game Fnatic.
Oh, just shoot. फक्त शूट कर भाऊ.
There's been so much success with fast mid.
अरे भाऊ तू लई पुढे रे.
Very well equipped.
किती शॉट चालले आहे.
Still, lots of position. Oh, a tiny gap for
अरे
10.
नेट टाकला ना.
Find that
Oh,
gap.
माहितीये का Ventच्या
Oh,
side
net.
ला?
अरे,
Fnatic are in a very
माहितीये, they know that.
position. They have to figure out, okay, we
Sick.
can't
Please
protect
left
the
ला
A
बघ.
site. They're
इथे
gonna try to
ट्रिपर आहे
rotate,
का
but it's
अजून?
going to be a fake.
Ah,
It
yeah,
has
yeah.
to be because
Geliyor,
Viper couldn't
geliyor.
be with them. Mystic couldn't, with the spike, be with them. So they have to
I
sell
will
this
totally
one
work.
by getting kills.
बरीच आधी तोडली पण
Not
ही.
moved. Sights are being
अरे
lifted on both sides.
what?
Fnatic is patient.
ग्लास कॅनन मुळे मेलाय तो.
Oh my
Mystic
god.
with a great shot onto Shazam.
Whoa.
As the poison comes up.
As the whip of the showstopper.
Oh, nice. Nice.
Yup, let's go. Let's go.
Is coming
Oh,
together
no.
here for Fnatic, but Zom's backside will shut it down.
Yup,
Doma,
nice
I don't
रे.
know if he's gonna have much time.
Zom's काढले.
There's the peak there,
Swift
still
Sickने
like-
ऑफ पण घेतले त्याचे.
Thanks to Doma.
Zom's
Easy,
काढला.
easy for sense.
पण आता हे नाही आहे ना त्यांच्याकडे बायसाठी पैसेच नाही आहेत.
That was crazy.
परत हाफ फार्मर जायला लागणार आहे काही जणांना.
Exactly,
Zom's this
exactly.
game, but you
तो
know
problem
when
आहे
he's
यांचा.
tucked into the back of a site, he's good for 2, he's good for 3 there, picks up some big frags.
त्यांनी खूप भारी खेळला.
Understand how
But
you
they
see
still
this.
lose.
Picks up a kill there, and great job by Zoms at the back of the site to make Doma work for it. That was a much needed round. That was 6
बघ ना
in
काय
a
घेतलंय.
row
अरे घेतले की
until Sentinels was
हाफ
able
फार्मर
to
दोन तीन जण हाफ
bring it
फार्मर.
back into their favor, but the bankroll
इथं
for
सगळ्यांकडे
Fnatic is
full आहे.
there to the end of the game. It does not
भाऊ
matter.
काय टाकलंय.
युटिलिटी काहीच नाही ॲस्ट्राकडे.
Shazam's in this mid peak, this rose peak, but denied by
Utility
the...
guys?
चार आयुष्य आहेत रे पण यांच्याकडे.
आहेत की युटिलिटी.
झिरो आहे. झिरो आहे ना ते?
And it's a very slow
Oh,
pace here
zero,
from
zero.
Fnatic.
डॅपरची झिरो आहे कारण त्यांनी
तिने
टाकली
टाकले
आहे.
सगळीकडे.
Fast paces,
मला
medium
नाही,
paces,
एक
they're
टाकलाय.
just showing absolutely nothing. Oh, Shazam though, will peak at the right time.
Direct
Shazam has
Shazam
not got a
Shazam.
kill in a long time.
Need
No.
mail control.
They're doing a bit of a rotation game. Yes, Tens wants to get out. They just shot
Push
for
केले.
Shazam there to pull towards
Nice,
Tens
nice.
because they don't think the
Tens
operator's gonna
काढतोय.
come
Oh
to the
my
fence.
God,
Well played
काय
by
टाकली आहे ती
Sentinels. It
trip.
is Fnatic in the side already, but here comes Tens.
अरे
Oh, they don't have any idea about
Nice
this
one.
position.
What?
Decent.
What?
Nice,
Turk
Ray,
at the
nice.
straight through from Magnum,
Fuck.
but it's up to Shazam.
Magnum
Sides.
got-
There's the up jump, pushes forwards. Shazam can't make
Arey.
it work off the second
काही
line.
आहे रे. कसला होल्ड
It's up
केला
to
होता
Dapper and
त्यांनी.
Zoms to hold this one off. And
Beautiful shot.
No!
Zoms' position to spray! It's not
तर
great!
प्लांट.
Fuck bro, this is so good.
12
आप
rounds.
आप सगळे
सजम-
time होता रे
सजमनी
सगळं.
गाई केली
आता
होती
पैसे
आता.
नाहीये.
In this first
नाही रे भारी मारला
Can't really
त्यांनी.
emphasize it enough. This
त्यांनी
is
तो
the
दुसरा
moment
किल होता ना
अरे
अंडर
दाखवा, अरे पैसा
गेला.
दाखवा बडव्यांनो, पैसा
It didn't
दाखवा.
look like they would at the beginning of this. In the first
कळेल ना
half,
काय
it
बाय
was all
केलंय.
Sentinels, but right at the end,
कोणाकडेच काही नाही
it's looking like
Oh,
Fnatic
oh.
are ready to
Yeah,
close
yeah.
this one down.
दोन दोन
I'm
फॅन्टम
really
आहेत
glad you
फक्त.
brought that up because this
फक्त.
will
एक स्टिंग आहे
basically
याच्याकडे.
त्याकडे
what the
शेरीफ
map
असून
choices
पण
look like.
25
spend बघ रे, money spend बघ.
Fire map for Sentinels. With the way they came
थोडा
out,
value
the
असतो
times
की ना.
they played, the practice
Tens
they
one tap
had,
करायला
that
पाहिजे
boot
फक्त आता
camp
बस.
for Fnatic.
टेन्स नागडाने खेळतोय प्रॉपर.
Competition practice
एक
is
शेरीफ.
done. They're able to keep stringing together these wins here and figure out what needs to be done to win the rounds no matter what.
Raise आहे but
That's
यांच्याकडे.
one of the
This is
things
very
that makes
nice.
us so excited across the board to watch these teams is the
Edison
mind
बसतोय.
हार्ड कोणाची आहे.
अडाक रे,
One of the
nice.
toughest of situations.
Shazam काढतो तर.
Here we have
5v4.
24 possible
Nice.
game point for
Let's-
Fnatic.
Hold, just hold.
कायची
Just
अल्ट आहे फक्त
Just yet,
यांच्याकडे
Sentinels
आणि
still
यांच्याकडे
have
रिवाईव्ह
Spike
पण आहे.
down.
revive पण आहे आणि प्लस डॅपरचा पण
Yeah,
आहे.
Dirk has been having a
So we
really
take
मोस्टर
longer.
टेन्सवर आहे.
That's okay.
Ah.
ट्रे टेन्सला टायमिंग मिळाला पाहिजे
Great
आता.
job.
अरे हे रोटेट का करतात.
Tens, please.
They have
Fuck.
mid control.
Oh my God, get fucked.
Give me the law. We know what he can do with the sheriff. And straight into
None
it.
भेटली ना.
Goes both.
Nice रे, लईच लईच बाप, लईच.
Want to really protect that. Tens doesn't know that, and here comes the push to Fnatic onto that B site. Looking good here to try to
Wow.
recover.
They have this, they have
In
this.
fact, down 2 players.
They have
3v2 तरी.
Steals away one
Oh
more.
my word.
रेज आहे रेज आहे.
Let's go रे.
2v3 here.
जस्ट वाचलाय पण. Oh, what? कडक फेक फ्लॅश
Looking
होता
to
तो.
bring this one to an overtime.
Yes, let's go.
Still denied.
Nice, nice, nice.
एक्स्ट्रा घाण बेट
काय
केला.
वेट केलाय, काय वेट केलाय बाई.
Overtime here, and one of this grand finals is overtime.
1000
Let's
IQ.
go, let's go.
1000
We
IQ.
wouldn't want
इनाचं prediction बरोबर नको यायला बस.
frags
Ah,
across
बस.
the board.
Fnatic जिंकल का?
Everybody, look it up there. You got, I think you
इनाने
got
predict केलं की Fnatic जिंकणार.
It would be on the side of, I think, Fnatic is on the left side.
काय मारलाय त्याने तो.
तेच ना रे, काय रिॲक्शन टाइम वर मारलाय त्याने तो.
Booster is 13 आहे ना?
putting in work right now.
First tour is 13 ना?
This round coming through. So
What?
we break it down now to the overtime round.
OT जाते हैं मग
OT है, 12-12.
अरे तो सजान बघ
हा घे बसून तो नाही का आपण स्पीकरवर असं वर खाली करतो मेल्यावर तो तसं
Doing the two-step. Doing the two-step. So no operators coming out. We see the Phantom being favored with few Vandals in hand.
समोर कुठली इंडियन टीम असती तर शिवाय घालून बसवला असता त्याला.
Walls over towards A. FNATIC is on defense.
बस लवड्या जिंक्स नको करू म्हणून.
And Durka, gotta be careful. The dash comes through. Gravity well will be expended there. That was there to try to catch any aggression from ropes. Of course, Durka's able to escape. And so that's an early victory here on map control for Sentinels in this round.
टेन्स आणि डर्करने कसले परफेक्टली ट्रेड केलेत एकमेकांच्या HP. दोघेही सेम HP वर आहेत.
Oh, nice.
And Sentinels.
दोघेही जेट हवे होते मग मजा आली.
ओ कडक.
Try to take B heaven.
टेन्स काहीतरी डबल सॅचल वगैरे काहीतरी करणार आहे असं का वाटतं.
नाही मला. Too risky.
केला त्याने.
They have to watch two positions. They could be in a bad spot as another Nebula goes up and they're entering B.
Oh, that's a pretty active flash, and that's going to be enough.
कॉमेडी खेळतो रे बद्दल.
ओए झॉम्स कुठे बसला होता.
मला नाही कळलं.
तिथे वॉल वगैरे.
वॉल असते.